Good morning and welcome to Morning Ride here on Delta Television. On behalf of the board, management and staff of Delta Broadcasting Service, I welcome you to the very first edition for the month of December. This is the first day in the month of December, so happy new month to you. And I'm feeling all Christmassy, and that's why I was intentional about my dressing this morning. I decided that I must come with a touch of Christmas color because guess what? It is 23 days till Christmas, and I'm super grateful and excited as well because in 30 days time thereabout will be in the new year, the year 2026. So that's something to be excited about, thinking of how far God has kept you and I from the beginning of this year to the 12th month of the year 2025. My name is Ogaga Ekama, and I'm your host, and I'm delighted to have you join us this beautiful Monday morning. Today on the morning ride, we'll take you through an exciting lineup from trending headlines to newspaper review and interview segments. You do not want to miss out on any of our interview segments today, so stay tuned as always. We'll be kicking off with our trending stories, and the very first one I have here is on the presidential nomination. So President Bola Tinubu has submitted a new list of 32 ambassadorial nominations. I meant to say not presidential nominations. So the president, he sent a new list of 32 ambassadorial nominees to the Senate just days after forwarding an initial set of 3 candidates for screening. In separate letters addressed to Senate President Godswill Akpabio, President Tinubu urged the Senate to expedite consideration and approval of the nominees, which include 15 career diplomats and 17 non-career nominees. This was confirmed on Saturday in a statement by Mr. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy. Gender representation. Now, let's look at that. Now, the latest list includes 4 female career diplomats and 6 female non-career nominees, reflecting a push toward broader inclusion. 4 females for career diplomats and 6 for non-career. Prominent names on the non-career list include Barrister Ogbonnaya Kalu from Abia State, Reno Omokri from Delta State, and he is a former presidential aide. We also have Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the former INEC chairman. Also on that list, we have Erelu Adebayo, former First Lady of Ekiti State. Right Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, former Governor of Enugu State. Other nominees include former Katsina Speaker Tasiu Maigari, former Plateau Commissioner Yakubu Gambo, and ex-UBEC Deputy Executive Secretary. Additional high-profile nominees include Professor Nora Dadut, former Plateau Senator, Otumba Femi Pedro, former Lagos Deputy Governor, Chief Femi Fani Kayode, former Aviation Minister, Barrister Nkechi Ufochukwu from Anambra State, Florence Ajimobi, former First Lady of Oyo State, Lola Akonde, former Lagos Commissioner, Senator Grace Bent from Adamawa State, Dr. Okeze Ikpeazu, former Governor of Abia State, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim from Ondo State, Ambassador Paul Adiku from Benue State, former envoy to the Holy See. The 15 career diplomats nominated include Enebechi Okuchukwu from Abia State, Yakubu Danladi from Taraba State, Miamuna Besto from Adamawa State, Musa Abubakar from Kebbi State, Sindof Endoni, Bayelsa State, Chima Geoffrey David from Ebonyi State, Mopelola Adeola Ibrahim from Ogun State, Abimbola Ruben, Ondo State, Yvonne Uduma from Edo State, Hamza Mohammed Salau from Niger State, Shehu Bade Katsina State, Ahmed Monguno from Borno State, Mohammed Dahiru from Kaduna State, Olatun Gambari from Kwara State, and Wahab Akonde from Osun State. Now, upon confirmation, the ambassadors are expected to be deployed to strategic partner countries such as China, India, South Korea, Canada, Mexico, UAE, Qatar, South Africa, and Kenya, as well as to Nigeria's permanent missions at the United Nations, UNESCO, and the African Union. Earlier submissions. Last week, like I stated earlier, President Tinubu had forwarded a separate list of 3 ambassadorial nominees, which include Ambassador Ayodele Oke from Oyo State, Ambassador Amin Dalhatu from Jigawa, and retired Colonel Latif Are from Ogun State. They are expected to be assigned to key countries including the United Kingdom, United States, or France once confirmed. President Tinubu also indicated that more ambassadorial nominations will be announced in the coming weeks. Now, after over 2 years of being elected president of the country, President Bola Tinubu finally has sent his ambassadorial nominee list to the Senate. Now, this is something that should have happened a long time ago, just like when you consider what Nigeria is facing regarding the US president's tweet on his claimed genocide on Christians. This is a problem that could have been easily handled and quietly handled and should not have escalated the way it did if we already had representatives in the office of ambassadors to the US. But over 2 years down the line, that is when the president has sent his list. Now, another issue about this list is that some persons have interpreted this list as a thank you list to appreciate his allies, because especially the names that have raised eyebrows include former INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu. It's on that list. 2 G5 governors that worked against the PDP in the 2023 election. So when you see names like that, it's understandable why some persons are saying this is a thank you package to appreciate people that worked for him. Also, the likes of former Minister of Aviation Femi Fani-Kayode is also on that list. And also, Reno Omokri, somebody that was speaking against the incumbent presidency during the campaign period towards the 2023 elections. And now, when the president came in, just like the likes of Daniel Boala, that were working for the PDP in the 2023 elections. And that's why people criticize this set of politicians, that they work for stomach infrastructure, because you cannot really place where their loyalty lies. And you see such a person now speaking in favor of the president, someone that worked against him in 2023 elections. Now, President Bola Tinubu came into office and Reno Omokri switched his allegiance, and now he's on the ambassadorial nominee list. So lots of question marks here and there if competence was actually considered or it's just a form of compensation. But on the brighter side, we're happy that this list has come out, and just like the president stated, the Senate should give priority to this list so that we know that we have representatives to nations, people that will speak on our behalf. And I hope that Senate also does due diligence in the screening process. It's not a situation, due processes, their certificates. Let's know their history. And it's also saddening because when you look at some names on this list, when you look at previous positions they've occupied, according to the markers by Nigerian citizens, they do well. Should we talk about the previous governors? Should we talk about what the former governor of Abia State did when he was in office, or Enugu State? What did they do? Were they really effective? Were they highly rated by their people? So, what is the yardstick now that was considered to nominate such personalities? I guess it's as good as mine. Now, the next story is good news for the Nigerian masses, as the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has suspended indefinite nationwide strike after reaching an agreement with the federal government. In a statement posted on its X handle on Saturday, the NAD president, Dr. Mohammed Suleiman, confirmed that the strike had been called off. Now, this is his post, and I quote, "The National Executive Council of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has resolved to suspend the ongoing total, indefinite, and comprehensive strike action." According to Dr. Suleiman, the decision followed several conciliatory meetings with the federal government and the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) outlining the status of the association's 19-point demands. He highlighted that some key issues remain outstanding, particularly promotion areas which have yet to be fully compiled by chief medical directors and medical directors. The agreed deadline for the payment of these areas is 4 weeks. On salary areas, the NAD president said the federal government also has 4 weeks to complete payment. He explained that the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has issued a clear directive on the specialist allowance, with implementation to be handled by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. Dr. Suleiman further noted that a committee has recommended the reabsorption of the Lokoja 5 into the Federal Teaching Hospital Lokoja, with full implementation expected within 2 weeks. Now, this is good news after over 20 days of strike, and you know that there are some sectors that the federal government cannot permit to go on strike, and if they even embark on strike, it should not be for a prolonged period, and the health sector happens to be one of them. Doctors, you know the stress and the lives that were lost as a result of this strike, but it's a good one that they've decided to call off the strike, and I am hoping that, because like the president of NAD stated, he said that all their demands are yet to be met, but of course, goodwill and also considering the oath they swore and all of that, they've yielded and they've said, okay, we'll call off the strike since some demands have been met, but within the next 4 weeks, we want the other demands to be met, and I hope that the federal government will actually do right by them, and within the 4 weeks timeline, the federal government will do the needful, because the NAD president, Dr. Suleiman, also said that if their demands are not met within the 4 weeks timeline, that they will embark on their strike, they will resume the strike. So please, federal government, we need you to do right by the doctors who are working and serving humanity, not just the nation, humanity. Now, on a sad note regarding insecurity, gunmen have attacked a church in Kogi State, abducting a pastor, his wife, and several worshippers. The incident occurred during a Sunday service. It happened yesterday during a service at the newly established Cherubim and Seraphim Church in Ejigba, Yaba West local government area. According to residents, the armed bandits stormed the church without warning, causing chaos as worshippers fled for safety amid heavy gunfire. The pastor, popularly known as Orlando, was taken away alongside his wife and other members of the congregation. The exact number of those kidnapped has not yet been confirmed. Eyewitnesses described the attack as terrifying, noting that the community was left in shock and fear following the assault. Meanwhile, the Kogi State government on Sunday announced that it has intensified surveillance and launched a manhunt for the perpetrators of the attack. This is disheartening, and this is what gives credence to the Chechen genocide claim that the US President Donald Trump put out a couple of weeks ago. And also Christians in the north, some preachers and all of that have come to validate and speak on. And I'm more pained because I was watching a press briefing when the governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, he was speaking to pressmen on Saturday when he called for a meeting with traditional rulers, security agencies and other stakeholders regarding the security of Kogi. Paraphrasing him, he said that main bandit leaders, they have the intel that main bandit leaders had relocated to Kogi State. And he said that the security agencies will not wait for these bandits to attack first. That they are taking the battle to the bandits. And a day later, we see this kind of attack. Attacking a church while service was on. Similar to what happened in Kwara State with the CAC church. It's so sad that after a security briefing, after such intelligence, these kidnappers, these terrorists, still had their way. Should we talk about what happened in Kebbi State when the governor claimed that security personnel were on ground, but before the attack, about 30 minutes before the attack on the school, they withdrew. Until today, we've not seen the end of that investigation. Nobody's head has been on the chopping block. Now, the governor and security agents, they knew about the relocation of these bandit heads. They knew about the security situation. Yet, these kidnappers had a field day. It's so sad. Now, a pastor and his wife and other church members, people that left their houses on a Sunday morning going to worship their maker, their creator, their God, and were kidnapped, have not returned home. It's so sad and disheartening. I want to think of what the special advisor to the president, one of the president's media, Mr. Bayo Nodiga, was talking when some persons were freed from the Kwara State incident and also I think the Niger State incident, and he was talking about, they were asking him, he said, they know these bandits, the office of the NSA and all of that, they reached out to the bandits, no ransom was paid and all of that. Does it make sense? So if we keep negotiating with terrorists, it emboldens them. And that's why I support one of the lawmakers who was calling for a death sentence for kidnapping. Because there needs to be deterrent, but the truth is, it's not willpower to enforce, to do the needful. You cannot come on national television to acknowledge that you know where these bandits are, to acknowledge that you negotiated with them, you didn't pay ransom. Talking to a terrorist, okay, our people, and that, no. And the Nigerians were not stupid. We know the gains, the profits in the kidnapping sector. If all they have to do is just to kidnap and release without making monies from it, then they will not be in that sector. Because kidnapping is now a sector, a lucrative sector in Nigeria. So unfortunate. So this is a call yet again to not just the federal government, to state government dealing with all of this. Nigerians are beginning to sound like broken records. People like us are beginning to sound like broken records. Because it's as though every time we come on television and speak about the nation, insecurity is at the forefront. And we're not seeing significant improvement. But we'll keep speaking until we see the change and Nigeria becomes a safe space for its citizens again. Lastly, back home, Delta State is set to roll out a technology-driven criminal information system. This is what I'm talking about. Designed to capture biometric data and comprehensive criminal records of offenders at every stage of the justice process. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ekeme Jere Okwuogboriole, SAN, disclosed this during the fourth quarter meeting of the Law Officers Association of Nigeria, LOAN, in Asaba. According to him, the Criminal Information System, CIS, will store fingerprints, eye color, and full criminal profiles of individuals, whether arraigned, awaiting trial, prosecuted, convicted, or held in custody. Okwuogboriole, SAN, described the initiative as